Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and I am so excited because you guys know, like, I have this love with Colourpop. It's like a love-hate situation. Like, I love them because their products are usually really decent and affordable for the most part, and just overall like a good online, like what I call like a drugstore kind of brand. And I love seeing how they've advanced into the makeup world and how they've kind of really worked and like raised a lot of the standards for quality at a decent price. I love them. I have an issue sometimes with like the fact that my packaging, like, or I'll get stuff in the mail from them and like I order their new releases. Like if there's a release that I really want, take for example what we're talking about today, which is their Super Pigment shadows that they just came out with, their loose pigments. I ordered those like literally 2 seconds after they were released, and I bought the entire collection. Like it was add to cart, done, over with, like it was done, right? And it took them like a week and a half, 2 weeks to get here, and it is so consistent with them. I ordered their other new launch that just happened, and it literally took a week and a half for it to even ship, and I'm over here like, what is happening? Like, why does it take so long? I get that you got, you know, so I have that issue, and then I've had other issues with them where stuff shows up damaged, and it's just like, huh. Well, in today's video, as I told you already, I picked up all 12 of these in a set that they launched, and only 11 showed up. So I have all 11 of them swatched on my arm, at the worst possible angle. Let's just try to like twist that arm fat a little bit, you know what I mean? Looking good. But I picked up all 12 thinking I can swatch them for you guys, and then one of them's not in my damn box. So that's exciting. But we are gonna kind of pull you guys in. We're gonna apply one or two to the eyes. We're gonna play around, do a fun eye look, and kind of give you my impression of these so far. I've actually just through the process of kind of playing with them, swatching them, I wanted to do the first impression on camera as far as putting them on the eyes, because I didn't want to leave anything open to interpretation on that end of it. I have touched these a little bit, swatched them, put them on my arm like I said, and I have a couple thoughts in that respect. So let's kind of pull you guys in. We will talk about the 11 that I have and kind of go from there. So the first thing that I want to talk about with these, I have really cute foundation lips right now, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, damn, she is cute. I know. Hold the applause. So we're going to talk about first, this is the package that they come in. Packaging, I think, is one of those things where Colourpop can be really hit or miss for me. A lot of their packaging shows up and it doesn't have the name of like the actual color on the package. I've had that issue with them with like, actually, you know what? I can personally attest to this shit. This was a great example when these released. Oh my sweet baby Jesus. These are their highlight powders, and they come, all of them came in the same packaging. They all looked just like this. Only problem is that they were highlight and bronzers. They all come in the exact same package. They all have the exact same component, pan size, everything on the inside, and even on the back, all it said was pressed powder. I don't know if that's going to focus or not, but it said pressed powder and then highlighter, bronzer. It doesn't tell you which is even in here, highlight or a bronzer. It doesn't tell you the name of the highlight or the bronzer. Like, you literally had no clue what you were getting yourself into with these. They were nice, like you had a full-size mirror in here, and the product itself was okay, but as far as like the packaging portion of this, that was so frustrating for me. So I was really happy when I opened all 11 of these containers. I was happy that they had the name actually on the package. So as I showed you before, this is the unicarton that it comes in. There's just a little sticky note on the top that tells you which color it is, and then you open it up to find this little guy, which is actually really cute, very similar to their loose pigment highlights, same kind of unicarton, or even Kylie Cosmetics. We've talked about this a lot on my channel. I think that they're packaged by, if not even made by, Colourpop, so a lot of the formulas and the containers and things of that nature are very similar, but it's just a nice little twist open cap with the cute little design on the front, and then on the back it gives you the information as far as the name, the bottom product, all that good stuff, and what it is. So all of that aside, that's just like all the basic overview that we have here. The bundle that I purchased, which I do not see on the site anymore, it might have been like a launch special or something to that effect, but it was $50 for the whole set. And these retail individually for $5 a piece. So essentially by saving or buying the set, I saved $10 or $5 because I'm missing a friggin' highlight. But I'm not going to be bitter. Oh no, I will try not to be. But anyways, from here on out, we're going to look at some swatches because these have some interesting textures. And before I tell you about them and like my opinion on that side of it, I want you guys to see the swatches because I think that you'll know what I'm talking about the moment you see the swatches. So we're going to zoom you guys in real quick, and we're just going to talk about that portion. I had to put that back. I have them all very strategically lined up in a row so I know which one is which on my arm. So let's zoom you guys in, look at the colors, and I'm covered in setting powder. How does this even happen in my world? And then we're going to apply some fun stuff to the eye. So first up, we have the shade Mulholland, which is like a deep bronze shimmer. Then we have the turquoise shade, and the shade name is Upshot. Then we have a beautiful purple in the shade Badlands. Then we have an orangey undertoned red in the shade Vertigo. Then we have the shade Quicksand. Trying to turn these around so you guys can get a different shot at the light. But then we have the shade Weekend, which is also called WKND. Then right here we have the shade Typhoon, Cameo, Honeypot, Go Lightly. And then last but not least, we have the shade Baby Rue. So that's another bit of a lighting situation for you. I'm trying to make sure that you guys can see these in multiple lights and see the textures of them. And side note, if I got any of those wrong, I apologize, but holy hell was that a pain in my ass. So, I'm just being honest. I'm not gonna lie, they might have gotten mixed up on the bed, but all you need to know is that those are the shades, okay? And just, you know, let's just kind of run from there, because do the names really matter? I mean, only if you, like, want to buy them. So, I'm so sarcastic, it hurts. So the first thing that I want to point out about these shades, and I don't know if you could see them when they were up close or not, but I really hope you could. The one thing I noticed is that some of these shades, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two shades right in the middle here, they were the shades WKND, which is Weekend or Typhoon. They are the most light, fluffy, glittery, like kind of shades out of the entire bunch. Like, if you could see the texture when on the camera, which I don't know what you could see, but they were such loose glitter. Like, if I were to blow on my arm right now, whew, everywhere, it wouldn't leave much behind it. Those are what I would consider more of a, like a top coat or even a transforming color, something you could put over another one of the more pigmented colors to get a little bit more out of it. Those reminded me more of a glitter. And again, I just kind of want to backtrack for 1 second. There is a difference in the world of loose things like this. There's a loose pigment, and then there's a loose glitter. Loose glitters are exactly what you'd imagine a glitter to be. Glitter, you know, like the flaky, more less colorful, but more sparkly, more this. You know what I mean? Like when you imagine glitter, you can see it like floating through the air. Glitter is glitter. And then there's a pigment. And a pigment is basically the color that you would see in an eyeshadow, but if you dug that eyeshadow up and crunched it all up, that's what a pigment is. It's a loose color. And that's, again, I know that that's not like the technical way to describe it, but I'm trying to put it in words that if I were me 2 years ago, that I would understand. So if you were to take, say, this palette, for example, and you were to just take any color out of here, say this one, and you were to dig it out, crunch it all up, and really cut it up so fine that it would look almost like powdered sugar or anything. I was going to say cocaine, but I don't really have much knowledge of cocaine. I'm not big into that industry, you know. But if you were to take it out and do that and put it into a little capsule, essentially what you would have is a pigment. You would have a color that is very, very rich, which a lot of these are a lot more rich in color and lighter on the glitter aspect of it. They're in it for an intense, a more whop of color, and you can build it up and put it wherever you want to. A lot of people prefer working with pigment shadows that are loose like these because they like the effect on the eye, they like the control that they get versus when they're pressed in here. Some people don't like working with pressed, some people prefer, you know, the other. It's honestly, it's all a matter of personal preference. For me personally, I love both, you know, loose glitters and loose pigments. I was a little bit thrown off though that these were all considered loose pigment, when in my personal opinion, and keep in mind, I have not watched any other review, I have not heard anybody else talk about these. I made a point of staying away from what other people said about this product because I wanted to be able to give you guys what I thought. So I'm a little bit kind of like on the fact that they're all called loose pigments. I would say a lot of them are pigments. Like these I would consider a loose pigment. Maybe this orange guy down here, and the rest of them, maybe the gold one right here, but a lot of the other ones are more pigment meets glitter or just glitter. So that's just my perspective, you know, again, for what it's worth. I don't know if or what it's worth at all. But as far as putting these on the eye today, we're just going to kind of come up with a fun little eye look. I am going to be using this palette. This is the Dream Street palette with the Colourpop and Kathleen Light's collab that they did together. I love it, and I never get to use it. And I thought, well, I'll be damned if I'm not going to use a Colourpop shadow palette with my Colourpop pigments, with my Colourpop everything else. So that's what we're going to be doing. So let me grab a brush. I mean, I'm not using Colourpop anything else, so I don't know why I would say that, but let's grab a brush. I'm kind of wanting to play around more with my Wayne Goss brushes today. Now, I think I want to kind of figure out what do I want to use. This palette of hers I really love because I love these turquoise shades, so I think it would be kind of fun to still get to play around with this turquoise shade right here, and then I could always maybe use this turquoise as well. I think that those could look really pretty together, and then maybe I could pop one of these lighter ones down on it, you know what I mean, one of the more loose glittery ones. I don't know. We can just play around and see where we get. So now that you guys are obnoxiously close, hi, I'm going to be starting this whole Billy O off here with the number 3 Wayne Goss brush. It's dirty. It's how I live my life. What are you going to do? And I'm going to start by working, I think this color right up here. It's the top corner into the crease, and I'm probably going to fold it in also, so both of these, we're going to start working those into the crease. This part's not super important, you guys. What can I tell you? I know what you might be thinking, whoa Paige, bring it in. I will, I promise. Alright, now real quick, just because it's going to drive me nuts if I don't, I'm going to go in with this super light shade right here. It looks a lot darker on camera than it does in real life, but I'm going to take that shade and I'm just going to blend up this upper area real quick. I switched out. I am now using a Wayne Goss number 3, but this is from the first set, I believe. So same number, but it's a different brush, as you can tell, because this one has black bristles. So that's where that's at. That's actually really pretty. And again, I don't want that turquoise color. This really, it's a beautiful brown, like deep brown turquoise. I mean, you can, that was an awful swatch, but you can see how beautiful that shows up. Okay, maybe. And I love that color so much. Sorry, I've been playing around with every other color in the world. But I'm not going for that color right now. I really want to keep it like smoky, sultry, because the undertones from that will pull beautifully, I think, against this bright color. And this is what's going to predominantly go all over the lid. So I actually, you know what, do I want to take my little brush? I do. I'm actually going to take this little Wayne Goss. This is a number 5. It's a really small pencil brush. I'm going to take a tiny bit of that blue shade, and I'm going to pop it on the inner eye right here. That's kind of a last minute decision. There, that's beautiful. Alright, so now I was trying to decide if I wanted this to be like an actual like cut crease and, you know, all that craziness, or if I wanted it to be a little bit more lax. And I think for this look in particular, because I'm going to be spanning this lighter turquoise color so far over the eye, I want it to be a little bit more lax. So I need to find my glitter glue, because this is definitely a glitter glue kind of moment. So here it is. There we go. This is the Too Faced glitter glue. This is the one that I predominantly use. There is one from NYX as well. That's also really good. But I'm going to take some of this. I'm just going to pop it on my finger right here. And then I'm going to grab myself a tiny ass little brush. Not tiny per se, but you know, just smaller than, you know, my norm. Where the hell is a brush at? I'm going to go in with this tiny little, it's a Dose of Colors brush, but really I'm just in it for this little flat paddle right here. And we're going to take some of that and we're going to put the glitter glue on our eyeball. And I wish I could tell you exactly what I'm doing, but really all I want to do is kind of take and do some of this and just apply it overall, and we can blend it later. But again, I want this to be a little bit more relaxed looking, so we're just going to put a light layer of glue over, and then we're going to grab that pigment And again, this pigment is in the shade Upshot. You can see it right here. That is stunning. For this one, normally you guys know I'm a big fan of going in with my finger, but I'm actually going to go in with that same brush to pick up a little bit of pigment and just kind of start placing it all over. Oh, my stink, is that gorgeous. Oh, child of mine. Oh my God, you guys, that is so beautiful. I'm a little bit stunned at how pretty that is. And remember too, when working with these, this is going to be the type of product where if you want to add any color, like let's say for example, okay, where did I just put that glue at? Let's say for example, I'm like, oh, you know, right in this area, I want to pull it out a little bit more. You will have to go in, you'll have to grab a little bit more glue. You don't have a choice because this is not a pigment that is going to stick unless you have some form of glue down. Some people say that you can use concealer with this. I personally don't go that route because I don't feel like wearing it later. But that's just me. But then you have to physically go in, place a little bit more glue, and then go back in with a little bit more pigment and kind of build it up until it is exactly what you want it to be. So that's just more of a heads up, because when I first started, I didn't think that was the case. I was like, oh, it's just a little bit, it'll stick. Yeah, no, I made a damn mess. So now that that's on, I feel like you guys can see a little bit better what I was talking about, how I just wanted that dark blue from the palette to be a really nice shadow base. So now we're going to go in and we're going to grab another brush. Good Lord, me and these brushes today, I tell you. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to use the same brush, and this is a technique some people are going to argue with me on, and let's just face it, you don't have to, because we don't all need to fight. I'm going to take a little bit more glue, just like a tiny, tiny little droplet, and I'm going to go back in, and I want to place a little bit of this glue in the dead center, like right in this area, and then we're going to go in with this really light white shade right here, the shade Typhoon, and we're going to take that shade, and I want to pop just a little bit of that in the center, just again to kind of continue to pull the eye out and create that optical illusion that it's pulling forward. So this is, as you can see, I don't know how well it'll pick up on camera, but this is a very lighter white kind of color. And so we're going to go ahead and place that right in the center there and kind of very lightly work it over top of that pigment. You're not going to want to like squish it around too much because you'll lift all that green pigment underneath. And then we're going to go in, this part I will use my finger for, and I'm just going to pick up a tiny little bit right here on my finger, tap it off so that I literally have almost none on my finger because I don't want a ton. And then we're going to go in and we're just going to lightly pat that on top. Like so. And then we can kind of work to blend it out with our fingers a little bit. And this is one of those situations where I would rather go in with less and build than go in with too much and kind of be stuck with it. Because when you work with pigments, you're working with glue. And if you're working with glue, it's a little bit more permanent than your average shadow. You know what I mean? Like it's glued on there. And then with a clean finger right over, oh, that's not clean. With a clean finger, this one, I'm going to go in and I'm going to just kind of push together both of those pigments just to kind of make it so they look pretty seamless, which I gotta be honest, they kind of did right from the placement, but girls, all about that blend. Hello, sexy. That's really pretty. All right, now, because you guys, obviously, I do not like that super harsh line. That is okay. Now we are going to begin the blending portion of our trip down happiness lane. We are going to take, let's find a good little blender. What do we want to use? I want it to be slightly stiff, but not so stiff that it don't blend my shadow. We're going to go in, and I may or may not have to alternate between these two brushes. They're both slightly pointed at the end, but overall they've got a really good kind of mobility to them. What I want to focus on is blending a little bit of brown into that crease right there, and then eventually deepening it back up to that dark blue from the palette. So I think what we're going to do first is go in with this carroty brush right here, and we're going to go in with this brown shade right here, and then we're going to go over to this guy and slightly build up that outer V a little bit. Again, not too much. We don't want to overtake the look, but I'm just going to speed this portion up for you guys, just so obviously there's no dead air, because that's annoying. But we're going to go in here. We're just going to lightly start to blend that transition. And it's all kinds of blended. That is so beautiful. I can't get over how stunning that looks. But I'm really impressed with this green shade right here, the pigment shade that we applied, and how like it really held its own against this outer shadow right here that we used to blend out that outside crease. Like, that's super impressive. Oh, and I know that I didn't mention it, but the brush that I went in with last, this Morphe brush right here, that was a Y17. It has also a slight point to it, and I just really wanted to make sure that I had a good transition there, which I definitely do, because that is absolutely gorgeous. Now let's go ahead, just for like some little bit of fun, you know, just because I like fun, not really, but like let's pretend I do, because I'm not totally boring. Just kidding. Yes, I am. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna wipe off the bake on this half of the face over here, and then I kind of want us to play around a little bit with the lower lash line as well, just to see what we think here. Side note, definitely important if you're going to play with these glitter, loose pigment things, whatever the hell you want to call them. Sweet Lord of Jesus, make sure that you put down some friggin' powder to catch the fallout, because child, rest assured there will be some friggin' fallout happening in your world one way or another. Now, because this shadow is already pretty intense, I want to keep the lower lash line a little bit more chill. At first, I thought about going into the lower lash line with you know, with some kind of one of these glitters. Maybe we could have put down a glitter glue, but honestly, I would much rather this eye like stand alone and do its own thing. So we're actually going to go in, this is a Wayne Goss number 18 brush. It's a little bit fluffier than I would normally use for this, but we're going to stay in this Dream Street palette, and we're going to work this guy right here into the lower lash line, and then take my fabulous handy dandy little Sephora smudger brush right here, any smudger brush will do, and we are going to take this like more of a camel kind of nude, or you know, brown right here. We're going to tighten that up to the lower lash line, and then just really smoke the two out with this light kind of orangey peach color. And I really just want to make sure that it looks like soft and transitioned down the lower lash line. That's really, in my opinion, important. It's real important. Oh my god. It's really important for this kind of a look, in my opinion, because, you know, you don't want anything to like steal the show from the upper lashes, but at the same time, you want to make sure that the lower lash line doesn't look like it got totally forgotten about, because that looks so depressing. And not to toot my own horn or nothing, but that looks really pretty. And I mean, if you can like get this eye out of the picture, I think that that looks beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead. I need to kind of do the other eye, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so obviously I went ahead and I got the whole situation all finished up. I have to be honest, I went a little bit dramatic with the wing today, mainly because I really felt like this look could definitely pull it off. And then I actually followed the wing up just a little bit with like some darker brown shadow underneath. I don't know, I really loved the way that it kind of snatched everything into place. I think that this eye look turned out really stunning and super like a slight grunge vibe to it. You know what I mean? When it's just like it's really put together, but it also carries like a deeper, like mysterious look to it. I don't know. I really love it. On the lips, I'm wearing Pinkies Up, also by Colourpop. I actually reordered this lipstick with this order because my other lipstick was already getting all kind of damaged because I wear it all the time. It's such a beautiful color for the lips. As far as the rest of my face, I am wearing the bronze, the balm bronzer. This is in the shade Oscar, or formerly Oscar. I don't know what it is now, but I'm wearing this as bronzer. I am wearing the Tarte blush in the shade Seduce, the Mary Luminizer as my highlight, and that's pretty much it, you guys. You didn't miss too much, but overall, I really love the way that this turned out. I'm so impressed with myself. Like, I've been trying to push myself to go a little bit outside of my comfort zone, and I know that you guys are probably like, oh, you've done looks like this before. Like, you know, you've dabbled in the darker, more mysterious-ish looks, but what you don't know is that every time I do them, I get a little bit apprehensive, because I'm always like, oh my God, like, I don't have the talent to do this kind of stuff. Like, oh my God, I don't know how. I don't know proper procedures. I don't know, you know, I get so caught up in like the realness of makeup and how people say, like, there's a certain way to do things that it gets so inside my head. And this was just one of those days where I was like, no, you don't get to get inside your head. You're going to play with color. It would have been so easy for me to play with just the goldens and just the bronzes and just, you know, play with, oh, hello, just drop everything, but really just play with things that were inside of my comfort zone that I normally play with. And so today when I reviewed these, I really wanted to push it a little farther. So I hope that that was fun for you guys, like it was for me. Now, as far as the colors, I had to wipe them off because literally I was getting glitter all over my entire being. But as far as the product themselves go, I think that the ones that really shine for me are the ones that have the more pigment, like that deep pigment color, like this turquoise color. Hell, the ones that like stained my arm, those are the ones that I think I'm a little bit more impressed with. The glittery ones, they aren't bad. I'm not saying that they are. I think I need to work with all of them a little bit more before I'm like, oh, these are great and these are not great. But as far as a first impression, for $5, I think that you do get a decent amount of product. I think that you get a good, like, a situation as a whole. The pigment ones, again, though, they do stand out a little bit more for me. There's a couple of shades that I don't think are particularly flattering, just on my skin tone. The red undertone one that was right here, I'm not a huge fan of that one. But overall, I think the shades are very workable and beautiful for a variety of skin tones, which is awesome. I did want to compare, though. You get 0.07 ounces in these, and now I'm going to compare that to a NYX little. This is one of the NYX glitters, and you get how much in one of these? 0.08. All right, so you get just a tiny, like 0.01 more in a NYX glitter. And I was going to test it against this MAC one, but the MAC one doesn't say on it, and I'm too lazy to look it up. So as far as the amount of product you get for $5, I definitely think it's worth it in that respect. I think the only thing that, like I said kind of before, kind of concerns me is the overall consistency of some of them. I feel like a couple of them are a little bit too glittery to be considered a pigment. But as far as, again, how they were, how they went on, all of that stuff, I actually think that they were really good. I have such an itch on my nose right here. Ugh. The only downside that I see to these, and this is just like my neurotic self being me, I hate the packaging of these because, like, look at all of these. Like, I'm just literally randomly pulling out a handful, okay, of glitters. What's the difference here? I can literally see every single color that's in my hand. Like, oh, this is the one I want, this is the one I want, this is the one I want. I have no idea what this is, and I now have 11 of them. So I will get to individually open every single one and go, oh, nope, this is the peachy one. And I'm going to have to swatch and look at every single one in order to, like, pick which one I'm looking for. That is so frustrating when you're looking for a, like a pigment shimmer, glitter, anything like this. So I wish that they would have, like, you know, done a little something different with the packaging. As far as that goes, like, they could have went, these are their liquid dust or luster dust highlight things. You know, and these, look at, you can see what's in it. You see how beneficial that is? Hello? Why didn't we go that far on this? But other than that, you guys, that is it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it and that it was super helpful to you guys, and that you liked seeing me play with them and do something a little bit more fun, play with a different palette, play with a different look, and just have a little bit more fun with it. You guys, my mom just brought me some chicken, so I have to go because I'm really hungry. But thank you so much for watching. I know most people would save that for, like, off of camera. Not me. I'm telling you, like, I got chicken. I got to go. I got stuff to do. So you guys, have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, but please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below. I really appreciate it, and I think it's awesome because then you guys grow, and I'm like, oh my God, people like me, and then it's just like this whole moment we have. So you guys have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this for the second time, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I got all kinds of pigmented today on my eyeballs. Hello, 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 hello. I really like this face.